Of today's session. So as already mentioned, today we talk about education sciences management, very interesting and engaging session to be. We have two programs on master's level, and they are also, like as I already mentioned, because when preparing for today's session, I read through all of the programs and they are really, really interesting. So I will be one of the participants today or attendee listening carefully to program representatives. I will, of course, present them separately in a minute, but before that, I want to remind you of who is behind today's session. Of course, you know 𝘱𝘢𝘕-Universität since you are here, but it also could be a case that you know about today's session from one of the programs. So that's why I will just kindly remind you about 𝘱𝘢𝘕-Universität, which is a database of English taught study programs in Germany. This means that if you want to study in Germany in English, you are welcome to use the study finder to search for programs. But there are also a few things that I should mention. So not all programs are fully English. Yes, there are some programs that also need German language. For example, one of today's programs is fully in English, but you still are required to have some German skills, like very basic ones. And we had like webinars where programs with even Chinese knowledge were presented. So it's always, you can always filter for that. We have lots of filters and you can adjust actually all of that in the study finder. The one that you see here is the demo version, and you can have more filters added when you go to a study finder as a full. Here you can see only just basic filters, but I will show you more in a minute. We also have articles. Those articles are about different topics related to studying in Germany. It starts with like what does it feel studying in Germany with specific country-specific, I don't know, visa requirements, visa processing time, scholarship providers, scholarship opportunities for different countries, and so on. And at the same time, it's about living in Germany, etc., etc. And very important is that those articles are written by internationals. Therefore, we try to address those pain points. In addition, the articles are translated into different languages, so you can also read them in your native language and enjoy. Also, you can read them in German if you want to practice your German from the very beginning. And of course, to stay connected and to make the application process to German universities easier, we make webinars. Those webinars are of different kinds. We have general webinars when we talk about broader topics about Uni-Assist studying in Germany scholarship visa. And there my colleagues Marie and Oliver present those. And we also have a part of Q&A. But then we also have subject webinars like the one you're attending now, where we have guest speakers from the universities presenting their own programs, and also they themselves take the questions. So we are always very thankful for their time and contribution to these sessions. And I would also thank them from your side, dear attendees, because they will be taking the questions that you are eager to know the answers to. And of course, our team, we are based in Hamburg, Germany, but we are all around Germany, and some of them also abroad. We are happy to share all the information we know about studying and applying to Germany as internationals and as Germans, because now we have grown the German part. So we have this two points of view, and then you have different ideas of how it feels studying in Germany. All right, as I said, if you check out our study finder for educational sciences and management, there are 296 degree programs. And then you can have a breakdown to bachelor and master. You have the filters here. And then you have a whole breakdown menu for each of them. So you can always adjust program features. For example, in this case, it could be relevant that the program requires you to have work experience. And then you can adjust it if you have it or not, or university type, or about finances, additional requirements, application mode, direct, Uni-Assist, only summer intake, only winter intake. So all of that. And the good thing is that those filters can be combined. And after you have filters adjusted here, you can sort programs according, let's say, application deadline. And then you can select, I don't know, 5 programs or so and favor them, to add to favorite, and then have a second look so you don't have to search for them again and again. All of these filters are free of charge, and even if you had multiple programs to favorite, it's also possible. You also see here English only option. This shows the programs that are taught fully in English, don't require the knowledge of German or any other language. And this can also include those programs that have German as kind of that you need to provide. You will have additional German courses integrated within the studies. So but you don't have to have a certificate when applying to a study program. If you want to know how it still feels studying educational sciences in Germany, then you can check out the subject pages. The subject pages are really helpful because they have lots of graphs and statistics, and so that you can also know what are the average tuition fees, application admission requirements, language requirements. For example, your English requirement, what usually is expected from you, and also the description of a subject, what are general career perspectives, and also in Germany. So these subject pages are also really nice, I believe, and of course they also list the programs available in that subject. One thing is to always check program profiles very carefully, because we believe that all programs are different. Not we believe, but it's fact. All programs are always different, and it's very important to check and know the content of a program before applying, because only names or city names especially don't say much about the program, of course. Briefly about the university landscape in Germany. In Germany, there are universities and universities of applied science. We always mention this slide because not in many countries there is this kind of differentiation. What I want you to know is that universities usually have more research and theory-oriented programs offered, and universities of applied sciences usually have more application and practice-oriented programs. However, always again check out programs individually, as there could be exceptions for on both sides. And finally, I want to say that it's very important to check, or once you start searching for a program, you need to check for or filter by subject, not by program name, because the program name is like guessing program name is not advisable. You may not guess the full name. Therefore, it's safer if you check by subject and then filter according to different criteria. For example, your English certificate, grade, etc. All right, now this boring and technical part is done, as I give the mic to Dr. Michael Krüger, who will be talking about Master International Education Management from University of Education Ludwigsburg. The location and some quick facts of the program are on the slide, and Dr. Krüger will present much more interesting facts and, of course, application tips.
Well then, good afternoon from my side. Michael Krüger is my name, as already said. I'm here in Ludwigsburg. This is in the south of Germany. You already saw it on the map, and I'm excited to have you all here to listen a little bit about our International Education Management Program. Short form is INEMA. And you see on the picture, well, that this obviously is not in Germany with the pyramids. How does that come? This is because our program is run by two universities. It's well, we start with you see them here, the two universities. It's from the Ludwigsburg University in Germany and the 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥 in Cairo, and we are running this program together, and you will get a joint degree at the very end. Means the degree is then valid in Europe, actually, and additionally in Egypt. Well, the goal of our degree program is to prepare for leadership positions in the educational sector. Means if you, for example, are already a teacher and you want to become a principal, then the type of knowledge you will get in our program might be valuable for you. Second thing, well, we define educational sector in a very, very broad way. Well, I guess I will cover that in a minute. So even if you're in the health sector or if you're working in an NGO, this program might fit your interests. Additionally, we are working in the field of development cooperation. So many of our students come from less privileged countries, literally from all over the world. We will tackle that also in a second. And so this is a kind of an exchange between more developed countries, I don't like that term, and less privileged countries, and to have an exchange on these topics of education and educational leadership. So our aim is to strengthen education all over the world, educational systems all over the world. And yeah, this is why we do what we do. And as I said, it's a cooperation between two state universities. You will get a joint degree, and this program exists since 15 years now. Well, the content of our program, you see it here in the study fields. We have human resource management, educational management and leadership, strategic management, cost management, education marketing, curriculum development. You see they all are in the way related to business, but it's always specified to the case of educational systems or educational organizations, schools and others, which makes quite a difference. The standard period of study is 4 semesters, but you can extend for a 5th or the 6th one. And at the very end, counting your bachelor's degree that you have and our master's degree on top, you will get the 300 credit points, which in Europe enables you to go for a PhD studies. The structure of our program, it's a little bit special because we have so-called attendance phases. That means you will not stay during the whole study time in Germany. Most of your time you will stay in your country. And we have attendance phases in the first semester. You will stay for 10 days only in Ludwigsburg in Germany, and then in Cairo in February, also 10 days. And the second semester is purely online. In April and July, you again will have these intense learning phases, but you will stay at your home country and things will be done online. Third semester has the same structure as the first semester. Again, 10 days Ludwigsburg and 10 days in Cairo. And the fourth semester is, there's no teaching, there's much counseling, but this is the semester where you are basically writing your master's thesis. You have your master's colloquium, which is online too, and oral examination. To bring all that into a picture, you have these attendance phases here colored in blue and always 10 days. And then you have an online phase where you are learning with our online material, getting coaching from our lecturers, of course. And then the next attendance phase and online phase, attendance phase, and so on. During the whole time, you will have projects that you have to apply in your working context, like the project coaching and your individual learning, which of course goes on during the whole process. So that means basically that you will stay most of the time, at least in your country. That allows you to keep working. So you can stay employed in your country, and whatever you learn in our degree, you can directly apply it into your practice and bring back your experiences that you have made in your country and in your working place, and bring that back into the study program. So that gives us a lot of perspectives from many, many professionals from all over the world in each cohort. These are two insights from our attendance phases. On the left-hand side, you have the one in Ludwigsburg, and on the other side, this is in Cairo. The structure of the degree program, we have these online phases. See it here a little bit. This is our Moodle platform. This content is quite structured in a very comprehensive way. You see it here. We have the content management system, Moodle. We have precise learning goals, instructions, group work, videos, multiple choice tests, self-learning materials. We spent quite a lot of effort to make this this material useful for you. Here you see it on the green screen. taking our videos and prepare your self-learning material. This is what you do if you're not in Germany or in Cairo. The admission requirements, well, as I said, we are targeting individuals from the educational sectors, means people working in schools, universities, kindergarten, but also in the informal education, Ministry of Educations, vocal education, adult education, but also in hospitals. Sometimes we have many people working there. Or you're working in the field of development cooperation. USAID doesn't exist anymore, but that was one of the options, or the GIZ that exists, that still exists, and many others. Many other organizations are still working in this field of development cooperation, and we have many people who are employed in that field, and so you could also apply if you're working in that field. The requirement is you need to have a bachelor's degree and at least 2 years of professional experience. Our study program is, well, we are a university, so if you remember this kind of distinction that you all have already seen with applied universities, and we are a university, but nevertheless, our program is application oriented. Means these 2 years of professional experience, they just, well, ensure that you have a certain idea of what working really means, and you know the structures of organizations and all these rules that are that take place and are followed in organizations. You need to have a kind of a feeling for that to really understand the relevance of the topics that we're teaching. The costs, they are 2,000, to sum it up, 2,500 euros per semester. That means it's 2,200 euros for study fees, and then we have admin fees for both the universities each semester. If you sum that up, it's around about 2,500 euros each semester. On top, of course, you will have your traveling and your accommodation, which again is, I guess, not too much, because it's only these 10 days Ludwigsburg, Cairo, and again 10 days Ludwigsburg, Cairo. For the rest, you can stay in your country and stay employed and earn money. Yeah, we do have scholarships. Not many, but we do have them, so you can apply for them if you want to apply for our program. And in addition, for an DAAD scholarship, you should apply until the 15th of the 15th of April. So you have around 4 weeks now. If you don't apply for a scholarship, you are free to apply until the end of July. Well, our learning teaching philosophy, I already mentioned that a little bit. It's application oriented. We are really focusing on transfer and on things that really work in practice. So you learn theory, of course, a lot of theory, but we don't stop there. We always ask, okay, what does that mean for your perception of your practical problem, and how could you tackle your practical problem by the knowledge and by the use of theory and theoretical models. It's part-time studies. So again, even in the online phases, you will have enough time to stay employed. Will maybe then have to learn in the evening hours, 2 hours a day, something like that. We have a tandem teaching. Again, it is Ludwigsburg and Cairo University, and you see that also in the lectures itself. We usually have a lecturer from Egyptian side and from German side in classes together. So you have a really international perspective, even from the lecture side. And we have quite small learning groups from 20 to 25 students. Here you see it again a little bit, what we all, a lot of different methods that are applied in our program, with project blocks, videos, hybrid learning, and so on, group work, speeches, of course. You'll see it. Well, last thing, of course, is the international exposure. You really experience ideas and perspectives from extremely different cultures. You have them colored here in green. You see this is where all our students from the last cohorts came from. So they are literally from all over the world. We are missing some parts in Africa and China, no, China even not. Russia at the moment. So if you are from there, maybe you're the first one in our program. But if not, of course, we're happy to have you in our program nevertheless. Okay, so that's, I guess, the most important part. It's the international exposure. And I think, no, not yet. If you want to learn more about our program, you can check our website, 𝑘𝑛𝑖𝑚𝑎-master.com, or you can write us an email, 𝑘𝑛𝑖𝑚𝑎@ph-ludwigsburg.de. You can also follow us on LinkedIn, sometimes even on Facebook, not too much, but we still have an account on there. You just look for 𝑘𝑛𝑖𝑚𝑎 Master and you will find some news on our program. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for all the input and all the details. Your attendees, deadlines, application program, and info package as promised in chat, and also the contact details as well. So feel free to save them for later. Because now I will still need your full attention as we have a second presentation starting. And for that, I have on slide Dr. Regina, but we also have Ms. Schiffner joining, who will be also providing answers to your Q&As and also assisting Professor in the presentation when we're talking about double degree adult education and management in lifelong education for Julius-Maximilians-Universität Würzburg. Again, location and very brief facts on slide, and I stop share as we have the presentation starting soon.
Thank you very much, Nino, for this kind introduction. So you see, if it comes to international education, South Germany is a good place. So we are in the neighboring region of Dr. Krüger. We are in Bavaria, located in the north of Bavaria. It's not really far away, I think 200 kilometers maybe. And yes, we are very happy to present our Master in Adult Education and Management in Lifelong Education. We are a very traditional master, and we are offering this master currently also with a double degree option with University of Padua. Currently means that we are working on further double degree options with University of Florence, Pécs, and Ljubljana, and we hope during the year that we can even offer there more double degree options. So maybe we just show some pictures about Würzburg. So we belong to one of these old universities. We are located in the Main Valley. You will see Würzburg is a very tourist city. It's a small city, and people normally feel very happy and safe there, and most come for tourist issues. But we have many students, 25,000 students, and so it's a very lively city. So maybe we just show some pictures. So the University of Würzburg was founded more than 600 years ago, and we still work in some of the buildings which were built some 100 years ago. So the university is located all over the city. And if we come to the next slide, you also see here some slides. So we have new buildings and old buildings, yes, and also try to establish a little bit the academic culture. We get to know that this is also very important from the international perspective. We are located on the campus Hochland Süd, campus Hochland North, which is in operation since 2011, and we show you all these pictures as you will study there. and that you get an impression where you will study. Maybe we can show the next slide. So here are our buildings where you maybe will be at the university library, at our canteen, and at our lecture buildings, and so on. We are working with learning labs too, where we try to explore also new educational technology, and we are piloting and creating co-creative learning and educational settings. So this just for some buildings, but now, yes, for some pictures. Now I come to some facts and figures. So we are a university with 250 degree programs, 26,000 students, and around 4,500 staff with almost 500 professors. When it now comes to the master program, our master program, you have currently 2 options. So we are working on further options, but at the moment there are 2 options. You can study on the one hand the master in adult education and management in lifelong learning completely in Würzburg, or if you like to do the double degree with University of Padua, you can put the focus on management of educational services, adult and continuing education. We are starting each October and each April. So our next enrollment will be in October 2025, and then the following in April 2026. The duration is also 4 semesters, and the maximum duration time is 6 semesters. We are also working on part-time studies, but this is not already in place. So we don't have study fees, but there is a kind of semester fee which each enrolled student has to pay at the university, and this includes a semester ticket for local transport. So it's rather a tuition fee or an administration fee than really study fees. And you can study also online. This is principally possible, but therefore we really need a close guidance in advance to check if you fulfill the criteria. But nevertheless, for all students, a student visa is still required to complete the enrollment. The structure of our program is we have one focus on theories and social framework conditions for lifelong learning. Another focus is on professional skills in the context of lifelong education. There is more the practical focus, and we have a focus on research in adult and continuing education. And now from this winter on, we also have 20 ECTS compulsory electives where you can select between different topics, and the thesis is 30 ECTS, and it can be in English or in German. So the compulsory elective, we collaborate there with several departments in the university. You can select from all these subjects according to your interests. So one focus is an in-depth study in adult education, with a focus on professional skills. You also can study international relations. We collaborate with the chair for museology, and you can select courses in international human resource management. And it's also possible in the field of diversity and difference criteria to study there apart only in German. And you can also study or can include their linguistic skills in German, in Italian, or in English. You can, of course, study more than 20 ECTS in this field. This is according to your interests, but you have to select minimum 20 ECTS from one field or from more than one field according to your interests to finalize the master program. Now I go a little bit more in depth into the 3 compulsory parts. So in the part where we focus more on theories and the social framework conditions, we put one perspective on lifelong learning and the political discourse of lifelong learning. Another focus will be on theories and the societal framework in adult education. There we work a lot with learning theories and also with didactical theories. And we have one module also in the field of international perspectives on education, ethics and sociality. So the colleague has this year studied with the students different ethical perspectives from different countries. In the compulsory part 2, we focus rather on professional skills. So we have there a module on the working fields and professional acting in adult and continuing education. So there we have a focus on program development, for example. Then another module focuses on media education, and we have also an international learning project where you are invited to do an internship. We have there several collaborations with the international departments of the German Volkshochschule Association. So there are a lot of links and also scholarships are available where we bring you in contact with our international practice partners. And this is compulsory 2, and compulsory 3 is focusing on research in adult and continuing education. There our focus is on international comparative research. We organize in this context each year a very big academy, which was finalized last week, and where always during the first week of February, many students come from all over the world. So we had this year, I think, 119 students from, 23 different countries. So it was really interesting. And next to the students, also the practitioners in adult education joined this event. And we use this also for networking so that you get in contact with adult education practice. Yes. And the module on research in adult and continuing education is guiding you and preparing you for the development of your master thesis. Yes, within the compulsory electives, we have different offers in the in-depth studies in adult education, so we can prepare you on international academic writing, on educational guidance and competence development, on educational management, on organizational education and pedagogy, and also on the empirical research. And we have included also a module on current topics in adult education, as we combine this module also with summer courses which our international partner universities are offering. So if you are not interested to go one semester abroad, but to go for 1 week abroad, so we can recognize it in this module. Yes, then we have the one on international relations. I think I will not go too much into depth. And the one with mediation in museums, there's also a collaboration with Egypt, by the way. So this is also very interesting. So you will study there together with the students from Egypt. I think we can go. Yes, we have another part in international human resource management. There we also have a module on cross-cultural management, but also in human resource management and industrial relations, and also a course on management and leadership. The electives in diversity and difference criteria are offered in German, but the colleagues are very interested to have more international students. And as we have the experience that several of our students speak already quite well German, so you also have here the option to study some modules in German, and also from the linguistic part, we have there several offers which we invite you to join. Also, especially as many of our students like to work upwards in Germany, which we welcome very much, as we have many vacancies in Germany in the field of education. It's very advisable to start to learn German during your studies. Yes, and the master thesis is 30 ECTS. You can, yes, write this in a broad field of the subjects which you have studied during your 2 years. If this is not enough for you and you like to study something more, you are also invited to study our double degree option. This double degree agreement will now be updated, and it's so today was the committee meeting in Padua where it was agreed on. So now it's only the signature process, which means that you can study this from winter on. Yes, and as said, we expect that we will have more double degree options from autumn on. If you decide for the double degree option, the Würzburg students, they will start in the winter term in Würzburg and will then move in February to Padua and will study there until May. And will come then back for the third semester to Würzburg and bring there the fellows from Padua, which they have met already in Padua. And then the final thesis can be written either in Würzburg or in Padua. And if you decide for the master, for the double degree in Padua, it means there is a focus during the second term on organizational education, like in organizational culture, global cultural pluralism, and in coaching processes for organizational effectiveness. All courses in Padua are in English, and they are offered 50% blended learning, like online tasks, and 50% on campus. All our students who do this double degree get an Erasmus scholarship, which supports you a little bit with the cost which will occur for your studies in Padua. What are the application requirements? You need a bachelor degree, and then 40 ECTS in the educational and pedagogical area. And we differentiate this between the micro, meso, and macro level of education. You need English skills on the level B2, and the German skills has been deleted. So there was just 3 weeks ago, the Bavarian Ministry in Education decided that there are no more German language skills needed for English programs, so we can skip this. Nevertheless, we have a language center at the university, and we advise you to use the chance to study German. And of course, you will need a visa or the if you don't have an EU passport or an EU citizenship. The application has already started, so we have already sent some admission letters for the first students, and you can apply until 15th of July. However, as we know that the application for the visa can take quite long, we advise you to apply as early as possible. You also can apply if you have not yet finalized your bachelor, but that you have, if you have only 150 ECTS so far, then you can apply, and we give you a special letter of admission, which allows you to start your studies and show then during the first year your bachelor degree. Yes, and if it will not work with the visa until autumn, this is you also can start in summer 2026, so that we can adapt the admission letter to your visa application schedule. We know this is in some countries quite challenging, and I think we have now arranged a model which will allow you to get the admission letter when you need it and have to show it for the visa interview appointment. Yes, and the semester contribution is currently 169 euro. Sometimes it's a little bit raising, but we talk there about 10 euro maybe per semester. Yes, if you have any questions, of course, you are welcome to contact us via email. We are currently working on a chatbot so that you hopefully in some months or weeks, we don't know how long it will take, can get 24/7 answers by a chatbot. Okay, here just some pictures about the Adult Education Academy. Very good. We have here now everything written down. So we have this year the 12th edition. We work there with many European and international partners together. And so far, more than 900 participants from almost 50 countries have participated. Yes, and this is really something which is important for us to tell you. If you have applied, so you apply in Würzburg Overview Study. This is our study portal. And you get the admission letter, we really advise you to immediately apply for a visa, as this can take very, very long. And we also advise you to apply immediately for a dormitory. We have there a lot available over our Studierendenwerk, which are quite fine, but we advise you go on the waiting list, because these are the two critical issues in German university. If you study on-site, the visa on the one hand and the dormitory on the other side. So we really advise you to go on the waiting list as soon as possible, that you don't have to cancel your studies because of these two issues. Okay, this was it. Thank you very much for your attention. And now we are available for questions.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It was very interesting. We have lots of questions. And before we go with that, today we have a very serious webinar because there are so many topic-related questions, not general ones. So, but I still want to mention, dear attendees, that I would also stress the accommodation part. I myself studied or lived at dormitory. It's very, very, compared to others, like private accommodation is cheap. So even if they tell you that you're in a waiting list, just go for that. The waiting list moves, so you will also get your place. Therefore, this advice is very important. All right, then I will not improvise and just read out the questions, as there are a lot of them. Let's start with Dr. Krüger. The first question, Dr. Krüger, I want to ask about the requirements specifically for work experience. Is it mandatory to be employed at the moment of application?
Yes.
All right, very simple. Yes, and are
Well,
there
but
any?
it depends. What exactly does that mean? Is it 2 hours a week or is it 40 hours a week? So just be convincing. Sum it up. So you should have work experience for at least 2 years, and it is advisable that you are employed while you are working, because this really helps your learning transfer. But what exactly that means But I mean, sometimes we have people who start employed and then they unfortunately get unemployed, and this is not well, you will not get kicked out of the program because of that. But the principle and simple answer is yes, and we find a way.
All right. Professor Regine, does the program address current challenges in adult education, such as accessibility, inclusion?
We also address this in general, and especially during the Adult Education Academy, there is each year one group which is focusing on these issues. Also, our studies in the electives in mediation in museums, they have this focus, and I think the one on diversity too. So yes, so there are some parts where you can study this.
Thank you so much. Dr. Krüger, application is done through Germany only, or do we apply to Cairo as well?
Only in Germany. And we would then forward your applications to the Egyptian University. We are rating your applications together, and we are coming to a common estimation of your assessment of your application. So it's only one application necessary.
Thank you. The next question is for Würzburg again. What research methodologies are emphasized for students interested in conducting studies on adult learning and management?
Yes, we have a focus on international comparative research methods on the one hand, and on the other hand, we have a focus on qualitative research, especially on interview studies.
Thank you. Dr. Krüger, Mr. Krüger, does working at the field of university education, like recruitment, course coordination, etc., fits into the idea of the program?
Yes, definitely. As long as you are dealing with learning processes in any way, means also counseling, for example, yes, of course. And you are interested not only in doing that by person to person, like here in a teaching or learning situation, but you're more interested in the framework on how to design options on opportunities for these learning experiences. Then yes, if this is your interest, then yes, this might be your right study program.
Thank you. I see a question from Eva Schiffner, but it's another different attendee. Does the program accept applicants with little to no academic background but extended experience in professional settings? How does one prove their professional experience? I think this came during the presentation of Würzburg, so yeah, Professor, if you want.
No, it is not allowed. So we have to follow a German system. So there is a database from all the regions in Germany. It's called ANABIN, and there we have to check if the bachelor is agreed or is accepted, and we only can go over this database. So a bachelor
same for us, but I would have answered that differently. I would say yes, as long as you have a bachelor degree and as long as it is valid in the database, you can come, and we will teach you the scientific rigor.
Maybe I could also jump in here, dear attendees. The ANABIN database, the link to that is in chat, but take into account it's only in German. But one more trick that you can also check is they use a 𝘗𝘪𝘵 link that I just posted, where you can write your previous degrees that you have, it will be listed in exactly the same name how it's in your home country, and then the system will tell you if you have direct access to the university in Germany or not. So it could be also usual. Initially, it's for the 𝘗𝘓𝘕𝘓𝑗𝑔 search, so if you are applying for a bachelor's program, but it also lists the master's programs, so you can see it if it's you can already know if you can apply with your previous degree to a German university. All right, Dr. Krüger, the question is, when it comes to Egypt, is there any specific thematical focus? It's a broad question, but maybe you...
A specific what? Thematical?
Thematical focus, maybe in terms of educational structure, I don't know.
Well, no, the themes of it's always follows our curriculum. It's always the same. And sometimes we have modules taught who used to be taught in Ludwigsburg and now are taught in Cairo. That doesn't make any difference. It's always the same instructors, always the same teachers, and of course we take into account very different educational systems, usually from Egypt and from Germany, but also many others. But this is not that doesn't refer to the place of teaching. This can be done online or in Ludwigsburg or wherever. Maybe what we have, maybe this is interesting in that context. We do have excursions. You saw that on the first slide. So it's not just teaching, and you will not stay only in classes the whole day. You will spend many days in classroom, but not only. So you have also the opportunity to see the pyramids, for example, and you will have guided tours there. So at least a little bit you will get an idea of the country, or you stay some days longer.
Thanks so much. Another question for Würzburg, and I see a Georgian last name, so I'm happy to ask this question from Mari. Can students with business administration bachelor degree apply to this program in Würzburg?
You can, of course, apply, and we will check then if we find there's something in education. Everybody can apply. This is no problem, and there are no application fees or similar like this. Yes, but I don't know how likely it is. So far, I don't have any student who had this bachelor degree, but we have to look. We have to look on the details.
Same for us. So you need to have a bachelor degree. It is not important what type of bachelor degree. You need to have 2 years of professional experience, not important which. Of course, if your bachelor degree is nearer to our subjects, then you are more likely to be part of our program. Same applies for your professional experience, but everything is possible. And we do have what we call a motivation letter. So you have to send in and to explain to us why this study program is of interest to you. And if you are convincing there, then you might have good chances.
Thank you. So Mari, go ahead. You still have chances. For Würzburg, is it possible to study 100% online?
No. We are accredited as a blended degree program. Means it is mandatory to come and to be present on the spot. We have some regulations. Sometimes you can take some more semesters, and you can skip one of these attendance phases. You will get additional tasks for that, but in principle, it is not possible to do it purely online. This is because a poor online degree in many countries, a poor online degree is not as valid as a degree, as a blended learning degree or a degree in presence. So this is why we really have to stick to that. We are accredited as a blended learning degree, and we have to certify. If we give you a certification, well, then we certify that you had a blended learning degree, means online and offline.
Oh, okay, so I think the question was towards Würzburg. So maybe to explain, we have a hybrid teaching setting. So for most of our courses, not for the electives, but for the others, we can offer you a hybrid study mode. But this means that you have to be during that time in front of your computer, and you have to organize yourself that you can actively participate via video. We also advise you to come during the first 1 or 2 weeks to Würzburg and during the Adult Education Academy. And if you then intend to study the rest online, then we ask you to contact us, that we will check with you if your context allows this. Yes, we know there are several requirements which are necessary to make it successful, and we like to have successful students, so we like to check this in advance. But in principle, most can be done online, yes.
Thank you. Well, the questions are coming and coming. I asked you not to send the very last minute, but here they are. And I'm very happy because this means a nice interest into the programs, which is great. Dear Professor 𝘱𝘕𝘺𝘳𝘕, I have some questions. If my credits from my bachelor degree from my country is less than the one required, including the electives, but it's recognized by SAP, can I still apply? And also, if I have extensive experience in the field of adult education and master studies on that field too, is that taken into consideration?
In principle, yes. So we ask you to upload everything you have for your application. I think this maybe it's the same for Ludwigsburg. So please upload everything you have. Each graduation, each continuing education, each master, each transcript of records. This will help us to approve your application.
Mm-hmm. A question to both of you. I'm a graduate of English language teaching. I took most of my courses in English, but my diploma states that the language of instruction was Turkish, which is my native language. Considering my field of study, do I still need to provide a language proficiency certificate? Maybe.
No, probably not. Well, we will have an interview, and if we share your impression that you're very fluent in English, everything is fine. But it's a kind of a formal requirement. So if we have any doubts, in your case, will be not the case, I guess, then maybe afterwards we will ask you for a language certificate. But usually it's fine. If you come through the if you manage the interview, then you will manage the courses too.
Mm-hmm.
I will hand over this question to Ms. Schiffner. I don't think so, but how do we organize it?
Yeah, if the bachelor's degree is in English, then it's fine.
Yes, but it's not stated as the language of instruction. So if you can provide us any information which states that you have studied in English, so it can also be, you know, your bachelor thesis, or that your professor sent us something, then this is fine for us too. I cannot imagine that this will be a problem if you are a teacher in English language and you have graduated in this program.
Okay, thank you. I think after completing both programs, it's possible to continue with PhD, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's a yes for both of them. Then there is a question about the job prospectus, which was mentioned, and it's also possible to stay in Germany, right?
Yes, of course. So we are looking for many people qualified in education in Germany. So we hope that some of you like to stay. This country hopes this. Yes.
Yes, and by the way, the attendees, after completing the degree in Germany, you can apply for a job seeker visa for 18 months, which allows you or gives you a time to start searching for a job in Germany. And yeah, this is really great.
Yes, but what I really like to stress is, therefore, it's really advisable to learn German. I talk with practice, and most of them tell me it's really necessary to speak German. So please take your studies to learn German. This will be the essential criteria.
There was again a question about the language certificate. So just I will wrap up that for both programs, it's enough if you have your previous studies done fully in English, you can just provide any kind of proof of that. It could be additional certificate from the university or any testimonial from the university that it's not on words. And also Dr. Krüger said that it's possible to, or you will have an interview, and also this way it can be proved that you are fluent in English, because you need to follow the classes also in English. Who is the best person or organization to send a bachelor's degree for the verification of admission requirements? So maybe I can take this one. It's not the best person or organizations. For Würzburg, the application is done through the program system, which means that you need to upload everything to the university portal, and they are the ones who will check if your degree qualifies to the entrance qualification to German education. And as for the language, usually it's advisable that if the documents were not issued in German or English, you make a certified translation. It's really important that it should be a certified translation. Even if you are fluent in English and you can do it yourself, you need to have a legal stamp and signature by official providers, and it should be either in English or German, whatever you like. Since these programs are English taught, it's fine if you do these certified translations in English, but certified ones. If there are not enough credits, what can be done? Let's go with Dr. Krüger first, maybe.
Well, you at least need 180,
I guess.
180, yes.
Yeah.
So usually this is what you have if you have 6 semesters of studies. Then you usually have these 8 semesters, 180. If you have a bachelor with less than 180, then no, it's not possible then. Because at the very end, you need to have 300. This is a requirement for a German master's program. But again, 180 usually is very common.
And yeah, I think it's for Würzburg should be the same.
Yes, so we also have to check the 40 ECTS. If you don't fulfill them, you can also enroll in another bachelor program in education in your home country, do 1 year studies, and then show 40 ECTS. So this will be an option. And there is, of course, no age limit. We are very happy to have different ages. We see this as very beneficial.
Same for us.
So I'm answering some of questions written so that we don't. Can the University of Padua also be partially online, or the whole semester one should stay permanently in Padua? And what are the fees?
Yes, this is in Padua. It can be completely online. So this is very easy for Padua. And students then have to pay also the study fees for Padua, which are €200 per year. So yes, this will come on top.
Thank you. Yes, so this one is also answered. Should we also include recommendation letters and motivation letter?
In Würzburg,
Yes.
no. In Würzburg, no.
Ludwigsburg, yes.
Okay. I see one more question from Nikhil, which is about computer science. I will take that one. And the other one is a very big one. And I think it's for Würzburg. So with respect to master degree in adult education and management in lifelong education, in the event that neither my bachelor degree diploma nor my first master degree don't meet the minimum of 40 ECTS for foundation in education studies, what would both Professor Regina and Krüger suggest. And second question, fortunately in shorter, is there an age limit for admission? I think it was mentioned, age limit for admission process. Thank you. I'm grateful for your attention. So
I think we have answered this question already.
yes,
So,
yeah, so 40 minutes should be there. It's not kind of you can skip this part. And as for the age limits, I think there are none for both programs. Everybody is very welcome. That's why there is lifelong learning.
yes, we have currently we have a master student. I think she's 65 and she's finalizing her master thesis now.
Wow, great. So it's not, it's never late to start something new and also extend your studies and learn something new. And it's also never too early. So whenever you want, whenever you are ready, and whenever you have enough qualification to apply, because programs do have their prerequisites that you need to have at least bachelor's degree. Then and 40 ECTS was mentioned for Würzburg. So there are some requirements that you need to meet, and some of them are not depending on the program, but also like country requirements, so that you need to have bachelor with minimum of 180 ECTS. It's not because the program wants like this. So I'm very happy to be part of today's session, because I think it was very interactive, and the interest from the audience was also there, of course, because such interesting programs were presented. But yeah, I just wanted to express gratitude to our guests, of course, and their attendees. I'm happy you were able to join the session, and I guess everybody got the answer to his or her question. If there are some more remaining, join or feel free to contact them directly. You see them, they are very friendly, and they are happy to answer your questions.